When DJI first launched this Avata 360, I have to confess it's not something I was originally interested in. However, the more that I fly it, the more I have to confess that it's a really fun piece of kit. And a big part of this is the fact it does have these two 180-degree cameras, basically meaning that it works differently to a traditional camera drone. You don't need to think about framing your shot, setting your gimbal, tracking your subject. All you do is concentrate on just flying the drone, and with that 360-degree recording, it just records absolutely everything around you. And the trick is, rather than worrying about your flying, it just makes you a lot more creative in post-production. You can then upload that footage into the DJI Studio app, where you can have a huge amount of creative fun. You can play around with camera angles, different viewpoints, and of course you can have the drone do all sorts of tricks, except it's not the drone actually doing it. It's you using keyframes to change the camera angles and get some really dynamic footage in post-production. However, that does require you doing a hell of a lot of work, and of course does require quite a powerful machine to edit this 360 footage. But what if there was a completely different way of doing it? What if you didn't have to export this as flat 4K image and just have the camera doing all the tricks where you do all the work, but actually upload it to YouTube in full raw 360-degree camera view, where your viewers, or the people you're sharing your footage with, can actually use their laptop, their phone, or indeed their TV to not only come along on the journey with you, but actually look round the footage without you having to do absolutely anything. Does that sound a pretty cool view to you? Well, let's show you exactly how to do it. So of course we do need some footage to play around with, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that you have been out and you've captured some footage with your Avata 360, and of course this wants to be in full 360-degree camera mode, not the single lens mode. So what I'm going to do now is literally just plug in my Avata to my MacBook and transfer the files that I want to play with from my drone onto the computer, and then once that's all completed, I'm then going to open up the DJI Studio and just drag it and drop the two files I want to work with into the Studio application. Now, of course, we don't want to start with something incredibly boring, so what I'm going to do is just trim the beginning of this little clip off, and then I'm just going to trim off the end. Then what I'm going to do is literally just drag these two clips into my timeline, okay? So at this stage, I'm not doing anything with them. I'm literally just putting them straight into the timeline for us to work with. Now, my computer is quite powerful, so as I move the cursor along, you can see that it's going to be able to keep up and give us a live preview. Now, what I'm going to do is, because this is filmed on the same day, okay, but two different clips, it's going to look a little bit clunky if we just go from one to the other. So what we can do is use the DJI Studio to add a transition, okay, where it'll just give us a smooth little loop and switch from one clip to the other. Hopefully you won't notice it that much. Well, you'll notice the transition, but you just won't be so much of an obvious jump between the two. So if we just drag and drop that transition into the timeline, as you can see there, that looks really, really cool. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of music, and built into the DJI Studio, we do have some audio clips to work with. So what I'm going to do is just have a little preview of some of these audio clips, and some of them are certainly not suitable for the area with which I am flying. However, if we just click on this one, let's have a little listen. Yep, I think that sounds okay for the type of video we are trying to create. So we're just going to drag and drop that into our timeline just below the video files. Now, as you can see at this stage, our video files are a little bit longer than the audio track, but that's not to worry, because if we just look at the first clip right here, a lot of the beginning of this video is actually still footage, okay, where I was just setting up the drone to prepare it for flight. So we don't actually need any of that footage, even though I was recording. So all I'm going to do is literally just drag across on the little tab right here, and we're going to just simply cut that. We're going to get rid of that beginning section of the video. Now, as you can see, if we look at the timeline, the audio and the video pretty much matches up, okay? So, you know, it's not too bad. So naturally, as you can see, we've got that 3-minute video comprising of two video clips, clips, we've added a piece of audio just to make it a little bit more interesting, and of course we've added that transition just to go between the two clips. Now this isn't any particular edited masterpiece, this is literally just a quick demonstration to show you how you can get this full 360 footage on YouTube to allow others to be able to look around the area with which you're flying with very minimal editing indeed. And of course, just to point out that I didn't need to add that transition, I didn't need to add two clips, one clip would have been perfectly fine. I didn't need to add music, so you could have literally just used this Studio app just to import a single clip and then of course export it directly. But when it comes to exporting, that's what we're going to do exactly now. We actually need to select, instead of video, we need to select the panoramic option. Now it's this selection here that allows YouTube to recognize our video as a 360 degree video. As you can see, the viewpoint actually changes if I switch between the two. So one of the most important factors when it comes to exporting footage is to ensure we select the bitrate as high as possible as the editing allows. Of course, bitrate is the amount of data stored within the video clip, and literally if you have it as low bitrate or moderate, for example, that can actually cause you to have jerky footage. I have had so many people reach out to me to say I've exported my footage, it's filmed in 4K, I've got the best memory card in the world, but yet my video still looks choppy. Bitrate is the reason why your video looks choppy. If you have an editor where you can increase the bitrate or at least match the bitrate of the export to the bitrate with which it was recorded in, and of course most editors you can click on properties and see that value, then your footage is going to look a huge amount better. So please just do bear that in mind. So what we're going to do now is of course click that export button. Now of course, because you do need quite a powerful machine, if you have a slower one, this process is going to take a decent amount of time. Okay, so the more powerful machine you do have, the quicker this is going to be. But now that is actually exported, what I'm going to do is just open up YouTube. I'm going to drag and drop that clip into our YouTube app. Now, of course, this is the same sort of thing, okay? So because this file is rather big and because it is that 8K video, it's going to take quite a lot of processing. So again, if you are used to uploading 1080p videos or 4K videos where they maybe take sort of, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 minutes, this could take at least double that before it's actually ready for processing. However, if we skip this along to the point where this is actually processed, play that, and as you can see, this is just absolutely so cool. As you can see, I can use my mouse actually on the video, okay, and we can spin around the view. We can even pause the video and still sort of look round. It's absolutely fantastic, okay, and it just saves you having to do all the editing. You can just get your viewers to just have a look themselves, which they can pick out the bits that they're interested in looking at rather than your creativity. How cool is that? And of course, as you can see, this works fully on a mobile phone, and you can just use your finger to swipe along, or indeed if you just move the phone's position, it's actually going to change the viewpoint. And not only can we do it on our computer, do it on our phone or tablet, we can even load the video up on our widescreen TV at home, and we can actually use our remote control to change the view and have a look round on your footage. So if you didn't know you could do that, now you do, and this is exactly how you do it. And as I've already mentioned, the key thing is the fact that you need to select the export panoramic view rather than the normal video view. Now, just a bit of a word of warning, because I do see many people who have this Avata 360 asking this question, who want to upload 360 degree videos like we just created to Facebook. Sadly, Facebook does not allow you to do it. It simply does not recognize them. So the way around it would be to do exactly what we've done now, upload it to YouTube, then of course share your link on your YouTube video to Facebook, okay, so people can view it that way. Or of course, if you want to send it to friends or family, they can of course do that. So what do you think? Again, not the longest video in the world for this one, but I just wanted to show you the possibilities, because so many people want to know how to share these videos, and a lot of you don't even know that you can actually get YouTube to do this, and that YouTube actually recognizes your native 360 degree 8K footage, okay? You just need to export it, as I mentioned, with that option which preserves the metadata metadata, as previously mentioned, so that YouTube can actually recognize it. But yeah, what do you think to that? I think it's pretty cool, and it's just one of the many cool features of having a 360-degree drone. It's really, really winning me over, I have to confess. And of course, if you want to see my full review video of this drone, where it kind of does really change my mind, I will leave a link to that one at the end of the video. And of course, if you now want to go watch that footage that I've uploaded and created to bring you this video, I will leave a link right there for you to go check that out. So if you found this video useful, please do give it a big thumbs up. It tells the YouTube algorithm more people just like you might want to watch my content. Subscribe if you're awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. See you again soon.